Oh dear. Good evening, Midgar. This is Vice President Rufus ShinRa of the ShinRa Electric Power Company, coming to you with another questions and answers session with yours truly. Our first question is from Albedo Soina, who to my knowledge has actually sent in questions before, so good to hear from you again. She asks, Rufus, have you ever gone camping? Why would you go camping when there are perfectly good hotels and restaurants? Why would you willingly sleep on the ground in a tent where it's terrible weather? Albedo Soina, no, I have never gone camping, nor will I ever go camping. Because it makes no sense when there are beds and showers and five-star restaurants. Director Scarlett asks, why are you asking me on live television? Sir, can you please explain why the space program has got more funding than the Weapons Development Department? Take that up in the board meetings, not on national television. But to answer your question, I don't know why either. The third question is an anonymous person who wants my opinion of ShinRa's defunct space program and if there are any plans to ever bring it back. Well, after the multiple times we've tried to send a rocket into space and it has failed numerous times, you'd think we would, well, needless to say, I can assure you that once I am president, such wasteful projects will no longer be funded, as we have plenty to do down here on our beloved planet, as opposed to exploring the vastness that is space. There is nothing in space, as far as I am concerned. So, my opinion of our space program is not a very supportive one, I'm afraid. And despite the fact that, quote-unquote, a very enthusiastic pilot, dreams can be much more easily attained if you have money. Question 4. RP7 General has an interesting submission. Truth or dare? This is a questionnaire, General, not a game. But I'll play along. Truth. Tell me about your crush and the moment you got feelings for them. Dare. Put 7 ice cubes down your shirt and keep them there while saying the following sentence. The Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be amazing because it will have a high-definition President ShinRa. What on Gaia is Final Fantasy VII? And is it a movie? Is it a game? Having a real-life version of my old man is bad enough, never mind a high definition of him. I think I'll go with truth, because nothing cold will ever touch me, if I can help it. Besides, I'm wearing at least multiple layers. I am not going to take all these off. Plus the heat is not on. Truth, tell me about your crush and the moment you got it. I suppose when it comes to a crush, if you think about them quite often, what they're doing, what they're interested in, but I suppose the question is towards my crush. That would be telling classified information, I suppose, but I can give some hints, I guess. My crush is very tall. Taller than me. And the moment I got feelings for them. That's difficult to determine for the simple reason that it has been quite some time, actually. I suppose the moment I realized was when I met them and spent some time with them, and I realized, yes, I felt very strongly for this person. Thank you for your question, General. Highly unusual question, but moving on. Lost White Queen. Why does that sound so familiar? She asks a multitude of questions, actually. Favorite sweet treat? I'm not a very big person on sweets or chocolate, to people's surprise, as I am rather fond of snacking. I suppose my favorite treat, savory or sweet or otherwise, would be, well, coffee. I'm very, very fond of coffee. I do like coffee cake as well, but it has to be done just right. I am fond of, I rarely go for it, but I am fond of things like tiramisu, sticky toffee pudding. I enjoy white chocolate. I like hot chocolate. But again, I'm not terribly huge on sweet things. I'm more of a savoury food sort of person. Mozzarella cheese is something I eat a little more than I am willing to admit. Second question. A nickname you may have for Dark Nation. I have a multitude of nicknames for my beloved pet. Possibly too many to list. I usually call her Nation, or Dark, just short abbreviations of her name. I have obviously more affectionate names for her, but moving on. Favorite toy as a child? I had a lot of toys as a child. My uncle gave me a handmade stuffed animal of a guard hound when I was 5 or 6 years old, and it was my favorite toy, and it essentially looked like Dark Nation before I was given her some years after that, but it was a big stuffed animal. My uncle, my late uncle, was a car engineer, and he was also very good with crafts, so he very kindly made me a favourite toy of what eventually became a real thing. Best way to hack security? Why are you asking me this? And why would you think I would know that? Do I know you? What do you do on your late mother's birthday? I'm starting to get ideas here as to who you might be. Needless to say, what I do on my late mother's birthday is, well, I visit her grave, and I usually buy her flowers. I'm certain that people who have lost loved ones do pretty much the same thing. I have no particular routine of which I celebrate her birthday. I usually visit her grave and I usually talk to her. I take Dark Nation and a Turk with me, and that's about it. There are some, I suppose, traditions that followers of Minerva have, and normally it's you bring gifts or something like that, but I think buying a diamond necklace and leaving it at the gravesite might not necessarily be very practical. So I usually buy her favourite drink. And I have a said favourite drink myself, and then I simply go home. Not very exciting, I'm afraid. There's only so much you can say to a headstone. If you could adopt another animal, what animal would it be? That is a very difficult question, because I have quite a multitude of creatures I would love to adopt, but unfortunately they are highly dangerous. Behemoths are wonderful animals, actually. They are so super intelligent. Granted, they are the size of a house, but one day, they, I would adopt a behemoth. The questionnaire also says Dark Nation needs a friend, you know. Practically speaking, I would possibly very obviously get another guardhound. I would like it if Nation had more puppies. But the first time around was something of a disaster. They were adorable, but left quite a lot of destruction in their wake. Besides, she has me for a friend, and I spoil her rotten. That and half the Turks adore her anyway, so I think she's alright. But I would adopt another guardian if I could, if I had the time. My favourite place to eat. I have a multitude of places, but there is a restaurant, simply referred to as Little Midgar. It is in the Sector 1 district, and it is a lovely place, actually. Along those lines, favourite thing to cook? Instant ramen. Or instant noodles, whichever you prefer. It's easy, it's simple, and it is the only thing I'm allowed to make in the kitchen next to coffee. How often do you have to yell at the Turks for not following your orders? They always follow my orders. I don't have to yell at them. Most of the time. Most common thing you say to Sephiroth. I don't speak to the general that very much, to be honest. I'm not even certain why I would be in the soldier department, but I suppose I normally greet him with, you know, a good evening, General. Most common thing you say to Sephiroth. Normally when he attends board meetings, I usually offer him coffee, and then I ask him what he thinks after the general meeting, really. He's a very, very quiet person. Sometimes I wonder if he even, well, not that anybody wants to go to these board meetings anyway, but sometimes I even wonder what he has to contribute to said meetings, but that's getting a little bit off the topic. Most common thing you say to Sephiroth. I don't know, Lost White Queen, I don't really know. Actually, I once asked him what brand of shampoo he uses, because his hair is, for a military, well, commander, he could be in a beauty ad. Possible side job after all is said and done in Soldier, maybe? Yes, I often ask him where does he get his products from, because he is a very, very well-groomed man. That is the end of the questions and answers session. Thank you all for sending in the questions, especially Lost White Queen, RP Sephiroth, Anonymous, Director Scarlet, and Albedo Soina. Have a good night, and hopefully there shall be a third session on the way. This is Vice President Rufus ShinRa signing off. Good night, Midgar.